Hello, hello, hello. Antphrodite here, your pop culture psychic, back to you again with another reading. This time it's on Ticketmaster and the whole fiasco with Taylor Swift's Eras Tour. So, a while back, there was a bunch of drama with Ticketmaster allegedly not giving people their tickets that were fans of Taylor Swift. There was all this craziness going on. Other fandoms have constantly complained about Ticketmaster, and now apparently there's a court hearing with Congress or something like that. I don't know. About if there's anything they can do with Ticketmaster, because Ticketmaster is now looking like a monopoly where they have complete control over ticket sales and people are saying they're abusing their power and it's getting brought up to the courts. So I'm going to do a reading on this and kind of see what's going on, what happened, what's going to happen in the future. Are they going to break up the monopoly? Whatever's going to happen. Okay. So if you guys are interested in this, I think you might be a little surprised because I have a feeling that this is probably going to go in a little bit of a different direction, but we'll see. Remember, these readings are all legend for entertainment only, and let's get started. Okay. Ticketmaster, Taylor Swift, and energy between. So first things first, I want to see if it was personal. Well, the Ace of Pentacles is reversed. Why do I see Ticketmaster mismanaging funds? Ace of Pentacles reversed. It's almost like the funds from Ticketmaster, oh God, allegedly for Antapers only. This is all alleged for Antapers only. This is all speculation. There are no facts here. Do not sue me. Why does it look like the Ace of Pentacles? The Ace of Pentacles, when it's reversed, makes me feel like mismanagement of funds. Why does it feel like money being made from this is used elsewhere? First of all, I definitely see them owing people money. They might owe fans money or something. Maybe there's an issue with like being told that they have to pay back people or fans or something. They have to pay back somebody. So that either means they're going to be told that they have to pay back certain people, or this Ticketmaster's money is maybe used for something else. Like whoever owns Ticketmaster, maybe that money is going to something else, which is why it's getting funneled back and forth. It's almost like we use Ticketmaster to make money to pay for the debts that we have elsewhere. The Ten of Cups is reversed, so that's about Taylor and her team. They threw them under the bus. The Death card is reversed, which is like a change. So I do think that things are going to be forced to change. Ticketmaster is going to be forced to change almost everything because of Taylor Swift's fans. I do see that happening. The problem here is the Ten of Cups is reversed, which means that they threw Taylor's team under the bus on purpose. I think that she owed them I feel like Taylor there may have been an exclusive that Taylor didn't give someone. I feel like I'm feeling vendetta. So it feels like she didn't give them something that they wanted, maybe an exclusive or something. And I feel like it was their way of being like, because the Four of Swords is like a rejection. The Seven of Cups is other opportunities, and the Five of Wands is avoidance, which means she went with someone else for something. So it's like she went with someone else for something, and they didn't get an exclusive, or they didn't get something, and they were like, fuck it, we'll just throw them under the bus. We don't care. It's not that they maliciously tried to cause problems. It's that they didn't care. It's like they could see that their entire rollout was full of holes and like Swiss cheese, but they didn't care. They're like, yeah, whatever, we'll just blame her team. Like it just was not, they put it off and put it off and put it off. I can almost see like Taylor's team hounding them and trying to make sure things are going smoothly, and them just ignoring her and not caring. They just didn't care. I don't think they cared, and it's because they have an issue with her giving something to someone else. The World's reversed, the Judgment card is reversed, and the Five of Cups. I am worried about protests. People might start protesting. You might even see venues start protesting. There's a problem here. something has to stop. So I actually do think that there's something that needs to change. Because the Five of Cups is like predicting the worst before it begins, which is about people not trusting where their money is going to. The Judgment card and the World reversed. Oh. Okay. If you can't go for the company, you can go for the people that operate the company. Someone here is going to get very smart and start gunning for all of the people that like own Ticketmaster and like the individuals rather than the company itself. I think it's an industry person. I think it's a musician who's going to point people in the right direction. This is war. Ticketmaster is going to be at war with musicians, and it's not just one musician. This is a full war that's going to start brewing under the surface with musicians and Ticketmasters. This is a big deal because I'm seeing them be like, oh, really? Okay, you want to screw us over? Okay. Well, the public doesn't know all the people that are involved in Ticketmaster, but when they do find out the people that are involved in Ticketmaster, what do you think they're going to do? Like, that's the vibe that I'm seeing, where it's like, okay, this is the person that caused you to not have your tickets. This is the person that did that. Like, this is something that's going to be happening behind the scenes. I don't know if we're going to know all about this. This looks like subtleties behind the scenes where they're going to try and expose people for other things. This is a huge war that's going to happen behind the scenes. Okay, I might not be able to disturb your monopoly in the way I want to disturb your monopoly, but I will be able to kill. I will be able to disturb all of the pieces, the moving parts. I also think that you're going to see some people being petty as fuck. Like, I see people being like, oh, you use this person. So like anything attached to Ticketmaster, like certain food companies that they purchase. You know how like when you run a business, there's all the small businesses that are attached to it. Like if you need food catered from this business, you know, whatever. I see protests all around. So it's like if you can't get to the head of the snake, you get all around it. Like to me, that's just what I see. I see it's almost like, okay, we can't move this part, but all the moving parts that we can get, we're going to. So I definitely see a disconnect. I see labels. Also, certain labels might get involved. Like it feels like there's like all little moving parts, like this vendor or this person or this and this venue or this thing. Like I just see a giant war behind the scenes. Like you can sell this, but you can't sell this, and you can have this merch, but you can't have this. And it's extremely strategic. This is messy as fuck because they can't come directly at Ticketmaster, so they're going indirectly. And they are going to also go after a lot of people's personal lives that are powerful or are influential in Ticketmaster. You will be seeing a lot of that get exposed, their personal business. Juicy as hell. Like I wouldn't be surprised if people are like basically what I'm seeing is like, let's say you're a celebrity and let's say that a magazine wants to run a story on you. You could be like, you know what? I'll give you this story to run on me, but you have to run this story about the person that did this in Ticketmaster. I'm seeing a lot of shady exchanges, allegedly from newspapers only, like a lot of that happening. Where it's like, okay, I'll give you tea on myself if you'll run a story on this bitch. Like absolutely a fucking silent war behind the scenes. The Four of Pentacles is reversed, the Knight of Wands, and the Two of Cups. It does look like there are two fandoms that are going to link up together as well. When it comes to this, I see two big fandoms linking up. I don't know what it'll be. Could be Taylor, could be anything else. I mean, K-pop fans have definitely made a lot of big movements, so who knows? But I see two fandoms really linking up and pushing forward for a lot of stuff. It reminds me of the Free Britney movement or the Free Kesha movement, where it's like they're really frustrated. And I do think that it's going to be hard to quiet them. Ticketmaster eventually, and now I'm not sure if this is going to happen now or in a couple years, but Ticketmaster is absolutely going to create, this whole scenario is going to create new legislation moving forward. There will be new laws and new things put in place. I think it has to do with digital. I think the way to get to them is through some sort of technicality through digital purchases. There's some sort of technicality through digital that I think they're going to try and make a loophole for. I don't think this is just going to be dropped. I feel like this is something that they're going to be incessant about. I also think that Ticketmaster is a little bit too big for their britches. So I think they're going to continue to like raise prices and stuff, and it's just not going to go in their favor. If I were the owner of Ticketmaster, if I had a big share in Ticketmaster or whatever, I would absolutely be like caving in to certain things just to let it blow over. Like the smart thing for Ticketmaster to do would just be cave into fans, give them what they're wanting, and then go back to being strict after like a couple of months or a year. But I just don't think that they realize that. So to me, it seems like we're going to be seeing a lot of legislation being restructured with the tower and the justice card. There's legal restructuring happening here. Again, it has to do with like, I wouldn't be surprised if like once we get into more virtual reality or like holograms, things like that, there's going to be more digital interaction with your ticket sales. It looks like there might be more legislation. I mean, a lot of times in like other like I think in Korea, a lot of times you need a KSSN to make purchases and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if they start doing things like that, where your ticket might actually be directly connected to your ID. Like I wouldn't even be surprised if they start doing things like that. Because to me, the digital aspect is where they're going to get Ticketmaster. Because it's a free-for-all now and there's not enough legislation attached to the digital aspect. Page of Swords, Hierophant, Five of Pentacles. I think that there's an up-and-coming company that wants to do something when it comes to virtual stuff that Ticketmaster is going to try to cock block, because they're going to try to be like, that's like our thing, and they're going to try to absorb them. That's another thing I'm seeing. It's some sort of company. I'm choking. Yeah, it's like they want to suffocate them and make them choke. They want them to fail. There's some sort of company that wants to do like, they want to sell tickets to some sort of live stream or live performance that's digital. And Ticketmaster is going to want to stop that. Like a VTuber almost, like a virtual thing. Like that's what it feels like. There's some sort of company that they're going to try and interfere with. They are not going to be successful, I don't think. I would not do that if I were them, but they're going to do that. The Knight of Wands, walking on eggshells, the Strength card, vulnerability, the Sun. That might be a pretty big lawsuit potential. I don't see them winning that. Yeah. So the way to get at Ticketmaster is not to stop them from doing what they're doing, but to prevent them from being able to adapt to the new way of doing things. That's the downfall of Ticketmaster. It's literally them not being able to catch up to the times, because now that virtual reality is going to be happening, and the way people look at ticket sales, the way people go to concerts, the way people view things, the way to stop them is to not let them catch up. So I think that's where a lot of the arguments, a lot of the money, a lot of the lawsuits potentials might end up, where it's like, you might see artists being petty as fuck and being like, actually, guys, I'm going to do a virtual concert. I think whatever, just to stick it to Ticketmaster. Like you might see them try to get around Ticketmaster. I think this will be a while though. I think we're going to have a lot of back and forth about this, a lot of petitions for legislation that might not go too far before this starts to happen. The 10 of Wands reverse, the 10 of Swords, and the 9 of Cups. Not getting what we want, and a backstabbing and a betrayal. I think artists are going to start canceling things as well to screw them over. I see somebody, and I don't know if it's one person or more, but I see people like canceling things. You know how people cancel things and they have insurance? I'm like seeing a lot of people just continuously cancel things to screw them over. Like waiting to the last minute before they can cancel something and canceling it. There's weird stuff. Something about canceling things last minute. There's something about canceling like a tour or just something last minute. Hold on. To be petty and to screw them out of money. Magician, 4 of Cups, versus Ace of Wands, yeah. And then doing it themselves or doing it somewhere else or something. I also feel like we're going to get surprise concerts as a protest. I'm seeing pop-up concerts as a protest. Like your fave just popping up somewhere and performing as a protest. Like strategic performances all around as a form of protest. They're going to get very creative. I see people getting very fucking creative. Very creative at giving the middle finger to Ticketmaster. They might still have to tour and sell tickets, but they're getting fucking creative. They're going to get really creative at getting back at Ticketmaster. It's just quite interesting. Yeah, that's kind of what I see. That's kind of it. It's just about them not wanting to... I'm telling you, there's some sort of surprise something. A way of selling tickets without selling tickets. Like I'm telling you, like they're going to figure out a way to sell tickets without selling tickets. These are very savvy. It's very savvy. I don't know. All right, that's kind of what I see. If you guys like that, make sure you tip. There's a link to my PayPal down below. There's a button as heart says thanks to you money directly. Follow me Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, Antphrodite. Please subscribe to me down below. I love you guys. Good luck.